Workers with administrative skills are in demand. In fact, over the past few years, roles where you use these skills have been in the top 5 most in-demand jobs in the country. Where do you find workers using administrative skills? Everywhere. Public and private education, huge corporations, small family-owned businesses, nonprofits, the federal government. So if you can learn the craft, you can take these transferable skills with you wherever you go. If you're passionate about a particular sector, like education, environmental justice, supply chain, whatever it is, starting as an administrative assistant can often be a fast lane into learning all about the field. Yep, I mean the glamorous and the not so glamorous parts. Either way, administrative assistants are in the room and have a seat at the table. So we've built this course to help you demonstrate administrative skills that are needed for many roles. By the end of this video, you'll have a better understanding of what it takes to be a great administrative assistant. Let's talk about the hard skills first. I can pretty much guarantee that every skilled administrator, including assistants, will all do a few things. Scheduling and filing, creating expense reports, and reconciling receipts. You might also be transcribing meeting notes, creating briefs, and serving as a trusted representative. How do you tackle these elements of the job? It starts with learning all about who you're working for. To begin, learn your principal's preferences, whether it's your manager, director, or colleague. From preferred times of day, actually he prefers 7:30 a.m. meetings. He can go earlier if you want. To their preferred medium of choice. She's had some problems with video conferences in the past. Could we do a conference call instead? To the type of digital tools they'll typically use. Okay, I'll send out an invite because I also need to invite the conference room and the Polycom. I've got it. Next piece of advice, learn the software. Take advantage of online tutorials so you can quickly become an ace with those chosen templates. Be sure to familiarize yourself with the way they display schedules on mobile and on desktop, on iOS and on Android. Third, get organized. Absolutely crucial. You need to have an organization system and you need to use it consistently. Make sure you understand the existing naming conventions so you can sort and file emails and reports correctly. Make sure you know what to do with those itty-bitty receipts that your principal might hand you absent-mindedly. Make sure you're able to know what tasks are complete and what needs to be rescheduled, extended, or moved around. Fourth, learn the team. No doubt there are a few colleagues who your principal talks to often, otherwise known as the brain trust, perhaps. Learn who does what, who's good at what, whose opinion counts most when. The last element here, be available. If you're in person, make sure that you're arriving to work on time. If you're remote, make sure you have defined working hours and a way to communicate your status when you're away from your desk. In addition to these hard skills, there are 4 soft skills that can really help you level up your administrative game. So let's talk about discretion. Fun fact, the word secretary is derived from the word secret. As an administrative assistant, for example, chances are you're going to hear or see something that your boss would rather you not share. Maintaining your reputation as someone who can be trusted will require discretion. How do you do that? First, clarify. Don't assume that your boss is going to catch every bit of confidential information that you see or hear. If you're not sure, check with your boss to verify whether or not it's confidential. Secondly, change the topic. If someone mentions something related to the topic you're keeping confidential, gently change the subject. If someone asks you directly about something that you know in confidence, simply explain that you are not at liberty to discuss. Third, out of sight, out of mind. Make sure you have a system for keeping confidential documentation and correspondence out of the hands or eyesight of others. You can also use a monitor or phone protector that conceals your screen. And you should always check your share settings on documents and have a system for shredding or deleting materials with personal or sensitive information. Another soft skill that every administrative assistant needs, resourcefulness. As an administrative assistant, you are at the nexus of an organization, often dealing with clients, vendors, and personnel. Hello. In this role, you have a bird's eye view to what and where things can go wrong. One of the soft skills that your boss will value is your ability to troubleshoot and proactively find solutions. How do you do that? First, pay attention. You have a vantage point that very few people in the organization have, and your boss is depending on you to keep your finger on the pulse of the organization. Your job is to be the conduit of information by building and leveraging your network, being receptive to people, and asking questions. Secondly, be proactive. Being proactive is all about being on top of your work so you can identify and rectify issues as they come up. Don't sit on the sidelines and allow things to happen. Make things happen. Third, think outside the box. One of the quickest and easiest ways to think creatively is to free write. Pick a problematic topic or an issue and then start to brainstorm all the ways in which you could potentially solve it. No editing allowed. Set a timer and just see where your brain takes you. In addition to discretion and resourcefulness, successful administrative assistants, and really anyone using administrative skills, should be able to walk in their boss's shoes. To do this, you need empathy. This is critical so you can anticipate and respond to their needs before they ask for your help. Your ability to empathize with the complexities of your boss's life will help you succeed. How do you do that? First, ask about preferences. One of the first things you need to do when working with a principal is to do a deep dive interview into their preferences for things like communication style, scheduling, and lifestyle balance. Secondly, spend time shadowing. If you don't already spend all your working hours with your boss, you can ask if you can shadow them for a day so that you understand the full scope of their day. Third, show interest. While your professional development is partly in the hands of your boss, you can turn the table and ask what their professional development goals are. That way you can work in tandem to achieve them together. And finally, great administrative assistants all, to some degree, manage up. That means understanding the best way to communicate with your boss and aligning your working styles so they're in sync. Managing up is not patronizing. It's just the opposite. It demonstrates that you care. How do you manage up? First, focus on communication. Again, a great way to manage up is to understand your boss's preferred communication style. In addition to your one-on-one time, how do they like to be contacted? Do they prefer text, email, or phone? By actively listening to your manager's preferences, you can communicate with them in an efficient way. Second, leverage your emotional resilience. Do you remain calm and productive under pressure and cope well with change? Can you help your manager when they're under pressure and experiencing change? Emotional resilience is key in these situations. And finally, offer to help. If you have greater technical capability than your manager, help them learn the needed skills. Managers are not always well-versed in every new tool, but perhaps you've had experience with one in your role. Take the time to give them support with new technologies. Let's take a moment to review these skills. Remember, this is ultimately a very human job. So know your principal's preferences, learn the software, have their brain trust on speed dial, and above all, be available. Remember how important discretion and empathy are going to be. And also remember that you're going to have to solve a ton of problems. So be resourceful, plan in advance, and finally, be prepared to manage up. That means building strong lines of communication between you and your principal, remaining calm under pressure, and offering to help whenever you can lend a hand. If you're thinking, wow, this is a lot of work, you're right. Roles that leverage administrative skills can be hard. But if you get the right fit, they can be really rewarding for a few years or as a career. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and download the Indeed mobile app. Thank you. Oh, yes.